Well, how about this for a trio for you? George Dobell and Jarrod Kimber joining me right here at a lovely summer's day here in Britain. Southampton, we are back at the Ageas Bowl ahead of a juicy encounter between the West Indies and England. Gentlemen, we just came out to the captain's pre-match press conferences. Let's start off with the biggest takeaways that you got from it, starting with England, Jarrod.
Yeah, Owen Morgan didn't seem to talk up West Indies as a potential title winner, which I thought was quite interesting since they played so well against England recently. And Jason Holder admitted that he overbowled Andre Russell, which seems like a huge error early in the tournament to me.
George, what did you think?
We learned that Mark Wood is an injury doubt. He's going to have a fitness test tomorrow. Bearing in mind his history of ankle problems, I think it's pretty unlikely he'll play. And yeah, I don't think it's particularly surprising to know that Andre Russell only has one knee, because that has been the case for years.
All right, well, speaking of ankle issues, so to speak, we did hear that Jos Buttler should be set to return. Of course, they said they would monitor his soreness and see exactly in the morning. So that has to be really good news for England.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're probably one of the teams in the world that has the best backup wicketkeeper batsman. So I suppose it's not the end of the world, but he's such a dynamic player. And they talked a bit about the dimensions of this ground. It's quite a big ground. And some of the West Indies guys are maybe not the most agile running around the field. So, for England, I think you want someone who's quick and running around. So I think if Jos is fit, it makes perfect sense to come back straight away.
So how do these two teams now approach this kind of a clash? Because the West Indies, of course, had their last match rained out. They've been a little, I want to say, bothered just sitting in. And, this is not exactly West Indian weather. You can tell, as Jason Holder did say, that, you're just kind of antsy waiting to get back out there. Unfortunate that they were not able to have a proper practice session today. So does that put them in the back foot?
Well, it's not ideal. I mean, I think the whole tournament is in danger of being overshadowed or drowned by the weather, and that's a huge problem, and it's a massive game. It's not factually a must win, but I'd be reasonably confident that whoever loses won't qualify for the semis. I do think it's a really, really good game between two fantastically entertaining sides, and they will be like, fun heavyweights from sort of Rocky movies. They will just swing at each other throughout. So I think it promises, if the weather ever relents, to be an absolute classic game. I mean, they were really good fun series in the Caribbean, and I think it will be again here.
Funny how the Englishman is looking the most cold out of both of us, Jarrod. But anyways, let me come to you, Jarrod, for this one and how each team should approach this match. Because as George pointed out, and as you pointed out, we were quite entertained when England toured the Caribbean and saw that the West Indies were able to go toe-to-toe with them. So what are you expecting from this match now?
Yeah, I think West Indies won't come into this thinking they're playing the best team in the world. I think they'll come into it thinking that they've got maybe not the wood over England, but that they can certainly compete with them. And I think England will think, and Owen Morgan sort of hinted at this a bit in the presser, that they've got West Indies back in England now. And not just England, but proper England. The ball might move around a little bit, which might give them the advantage. So I think both teams will be fairly confident, which is a good thing.
And quickly, just before we go, I think one of the things that Jason Holder as well brought up was that he seems to be very proud of the West Indies bowling attack so far. He said that he takes pride in the fact that they were able to bowl out two sides, especially because going into the tournament, a lot was made of the West Indies bowling being the weakness of the team. So George, how do you see them faring with that?
No, their bowling's terrific. I actually think they're pretty much the equal in bowling and batting, but where West Indies might have a problem is the fielding. I mean, they've managed to pick a side here that has people in it less agile than Gayle. And this is probably the biggest playing surface in England, and I think that would be an area of concern. But in terms of the batting and bowling, they pack a punch. They're dangerous. Both sides are, which is why it could be a really fun game. I've no idea what should happen, or what will happen, rather, and that's why it's such fun. There are consequences, and it's a high-quality game. Brilliant.
High-quality game, juicy matchup. We're expecting all of the things. Let's hope Mother Nature is allowing that to happen come tomorrow.